All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first official live stream. Trey Smith here with Buildbox. Really excited about this, guys. And a special thank you to a lot of you guys who I see on here now. Andy, Mr. Zombie, many of you guys who have been helping me test this the last few weeks. So it's been really fun doing this with you guys. And as mentioned, we're going to be doing this a lot more. We got a really good setup for this now. It's something I'm enjoying doing. It's something Zach's going to be doing. I'm going to bring Nick in here in a little bit too. So as a company, we want to do a lot more of these. So the format today is completely open. I have zero planned. There's actually Andy, when I was doing a test stream yesterday, Andy G said, hey, is there going to be a one more thing type thing? There's not. So this is 100% just open Q&A. Let's have some fun, talk about Buildbox, talk about the game business. If any of you guys are interested in San Francisco, we're in Sausalito right now, which is 10 minutes or 5 minutes north of San Francisco. Talk about that, talk about startups, whatever you guys want. So if you're on event.buildbox.com, you should see the chat right below that where you can ask me questions. Also, of course, on YouTube. You can do it there as well. And let's get started. So I'm going to click over here and check out some questions. And one more quick thing. So I do have Buildbox pulled up. I have Buildbox 2.2 pulled up, 2.29. So I do not have the beta of 2.3 here. And even though I know you guys know Buildbox 2 really well, just in case there's any questions, yesterday I was talking a lot about Buildbox 3. I know that's a big hot button thing. So I could discuss some of that stuff and show you more how it will look in Buildbox 2. I just want to make that clear. This is not a 3.0 reveal. We'll do a really big event around that, and you guys will definitely know when that's coming. This YouTube thing, I'm loving this whole live stream thing. This is how we're going to probably start doing all of our big product reveal events is through this. For the geeks out there, I'm using the OBS software. It's awesome, man. I have multiple camera angles. These are just like the ones that are already on my iMac. And when we pull some other guys later, we'll be able to see that. So yeah, really, really cool. Really excited about this. So let me go ahead and read some of these questions and answer this stuff. Yeah, good morning to you guys. Got a lot of people here. That's awesome. Thank you for checking this out. So you guys, looks like sounds good right now. Lean said that I'm so young. Dude, I'm almost 40. I'm 39, believe it or not. So, yeah, getting older, not getting any younger. I promise you that. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to start here with Koi Al. First off, dude, loved your game. I'm working on our next product release and actually talk about you on that. So that's cool. So really like what you're doing. All right, so hey, Trey, I read in the forums that we will be able to write JavaScript in Buildbox 3.0. Does this mean that Buildbox 3.0 will support HTML5 export? All right, so first off, great question. And there's a few reasons we want to do HTML5 export, okay? One is I have this vision of doing a Buildbox arcade one day, and I want to do this different than everyone else. I do not want to own and be a part of another Flash gaming site, right? That is absolutely not the idea here. But I do think for viral growth, and also I've noticed a really interesting industry has popped up around Buildbox, which is selling BB docs. I would have never guessed that when we started building this thing. But that's ended up being really, really big. And so I do have an idea that I've been kicking around with the guys here for a Buildbox arcade where people can come and play Buildbox games. We can have ranking systems, top apps, and and all this kind of stuff. And then also, if you want to, you could sell your BB doc on there. So it would be like a quasi store there as well for our users to make money. So that's something I want to do in the future. That would require HTML5 export, obviously, but it's not something that we've actually started development on. Because it is a huge pain, enormous pain to do HTML5 export. But yeah, so it's something that we've talked about. Now, the JavaScript in Buildbox 3.0, that's going to be a little bit different. That's a great thing to talk about when Nick comes over in a little bit. And Nick, if you can hear me, I'm going to, actually, no, we're not going to show any Buildbox 3 stuff yet. Yeah, we're not ready. All right. Not yet. Not going to show that yet. We'll have a separate event about that. But I'll bring him over to talk a little bit about that because that's where we go beyond my area of expertise, okay? All right, so, okay, this is a good question. So Pettis Hartfield, starting my game business, what business structure should I use? An LLC, corporation, etc. So first off, let me preface this by, obviously I can't give legal advice, and I'm not an attorney, and I don't really know like a ton about that part of it, but I can tell you what I did, right? I can definitely tell you what I did. So I started out just as a regular user account. It was personal. After I did around $700, then I went ahead and made it into a real company. Someone told me somewhere, I read that around that time is when you should take it seriously. I think from a legal standpoint, but I don't know. You'd have to consult a lawyer on that. But so around $700, I went and made an LLC. And then now, though, with Buildbox, we actually have an S Corp. Now, if you ever want to get funding, though, you'll need a C Corp, but don't even worry about that. If you ever do sign with an investor and get funding, they'll walk you through all that stuff. So I would say, if it was me, what I did, I started with a personal account. Once I started making some revenue, then I moved to an LLC, limited liability company. And then we ended up doing an S Corp as the company grew after some attorneys told me, to do that. So that's where I would start. That's actually where I did start. All right, so let's see here, guys. It jumped down, so let me pull this up a little bit. All right. Okay, this is a good one. Hey, on Buildbox 3, will the mind map be more different or the same but more advanced for 3D games? All right, so this is a good time to swap over to the desktop. So, all right, the mind map on this part will be pretty similar. It'll be pretty similar. And this is actually the part that we are moving into, that Nick's going to start developing more on this screen right here in the next few months. So I talked about this a little bit yesterday. In Buildbox 3, when you right click, you'll be able to add a new world, but you'll be able to add a 2D world or a 3D world, okay? Or a UI screen. And both of those worlds are having a lot of development. The 3D world's just from the ground up, totally new stuff. The 2D world is going to be very similar to the worlds right now. All right, it's going to look very similar. You're going to be very comfortable using it. But there is some new things in here, and especially instead of components, we're having this thing called a node system. And you'll be able to actually build out and add components and wire them together. It's really, really cool. So we'll be showing that to you guys in the next few months. But this screen's going to be pretty much the same. The big question is, will we end up adding nodes for the gameplay? We've gone back and forth on that. Will we use components? And for anyone who's wondering what nodes are, all right, so these are components, right? Imagine that these components were just actual nodes that you can move around. So forced movement right here. Imagine that this was just named forced movement, okay? And then this right here was your character start. And then you could say, okay, when the character starts, we want to move it. Now, what we also want to do is, I'm going to make another little fake node here. We're gonna call this one an if then. Now, what we also want to do is if this happens, then we want to do a different movement. Okay, so then you can add real logic to your games through this. So that's what the big change is that in 3D with 3.0. All right, so let's see here. Answer a couple more questions here. Okay, this is a good one from Syed. There will be no Buildbox version 3. It will be Buildbox 3D. And me and Nick actually had a lot of discussion about this. I was leaning towards calling it Buildbox 3D, but he won this battle, and we are calling it Buildbox 3 because it's not just going to be 3D. It's 3D and 2D. So we're kind of opening up both worlds, heavily investing in technology in both worlds, and not abandoning 2D at all. So he won that battle. All right, so will it be possible to make a side-scrolling beat-em-up game like Streets of Rage on Buildbox? Truth is, I think that's probably possible right now, Mick. I haven't seen anyone do that, and I'll tell you why I haven't seen anyone do that, because it's not really popular on mobile devices, and most of our developers using Buildbox are publishing on mobile. But I think you could do a pretty cool one in Buildbox 2. In Buildbox 3 with the node system, absolutely 100%. Could do it. We are releasing the first game with Buildbox 3 It's a game, I can't really talk about it yet. We're signed with a major publisher, and it's with a celebrity, a big brand. That will be coming out hopefully really soon. So when it comes out, we'll make a big deal about it. I even shot a little behind the scenes documentary about it. Share that with you guys as well, of course. And then that one, we use a lot of these node systems and features that would be something that you could do with Streets of Rage, where you could really have like multiple weapons, get a bat and then beat someone up with a bat for a while, then, get the chain. I love Streets. I loved like Double Dragon and all that stuff back in the day. So yeah, definitely. All right, so let's see here, guys. Is it just JavaScript, or will we be able to use C# or F#? All right, so the Don Barracuda, that's a great question. It is going to just be JavaScript, all right? So Nick will explain more about that. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. I know it's just going to be JavaScript, but to explain more, that'll be a great thing to bring him in here in a little bit, and we'll discuss. All right, so this one comes up a lot. This is a great question from Siraj. Is it possible to make a multiplayer game with Buildbox 2.0? No, it's not possible with 2.0, all right? And it will be possible with 3.x, and I'm putting the X in there because it's not going to be there in 3.0. We have some other stuff. At this point, we have to pick and choose what's going to come out at release. And we have some really big stuff we want to bring. I mean, big game changers for the software with the full complete node system, which brings real logic to Buildbox, with the 3D system and all this kind of stuff. So those things took priority. I talked a lot about this yesterday as well. I'll hit on the couple key points here. But with multiplayer, we thought that this might take over the whole market when Agar.io, and then Slither.io came out. We were a little concerned about that. And if that would have happened, we would have jumped into multiplayer super fast. So that's one great thing about us being developers and actively making games on a consistent, constant basis. When something like that happens, and if something starts taking over the market and we get the first sense of that, we immediately start researching it. Just in case something happens quick, we can jump on it and be able to provide that for you guys. So we started researching how we would do it when those games started taking off, and then it all fizzled out. Then Paper.io came out, and that was not even a real multiplayer game. You can put it in airplane mode and play that game. I didn't realize that for months until one of you guys actually told me that on the forum or somewhere, and I was like, oh my God. What is good stores for HTML5 games? White Dog, that's a great question because I haven't really seen it. And this is another one of the technologies. We're always watching all these technologies. Right now it's ARKit. We're really closely watching that. And I do think that's going to potentially be huge. And it was a big enforcer in us moving into 3D and going in that direction. So I think that is going to be big. HTML5 games, I got to be honest with you guys, I'm not seeing it yet. That's something I've talked to with some really smart guys here in Silicon Valley, and they really thought this was going places. I get really excited on stuff, and a lot of times Nick is the one who kind of comes in with the common sense and grounds it. And he was never really big on the HTML5 games either. I got to give him that. But it was not something that I've seen really take off. If you guys have examples of it taking off, then please let me know, because that's something I haven't seen where there's like people monetizing it. When I talk about taking off, I mean people building companies, successful companies around HTML5 games. So like I said, the reason I would like to do it is mainly to be able to feature some of the best Buildbox games on our site and then allow you guys to sell BB docs. I've seen some people in the Buildbox community have built actual real companies and businesses just around selling these BB docs. And I thought that was really interesting. So if we saw an increase with that, then I would definitely want to focus on HTML5 to encourage and support the community behind that. All right, from Andy G. Buildbox 2, after 2.210, are we then jumping to 2.3 and there it ends and all move to BB3? Great question, man. That's a really good question. So 2.3, so 2.3 will be the last version of Buildbox 2 that actually has new features, all right? And we'll bring Nick in here a little bit too and ask him about that because he's more in charge of the exact features that are coming out and that kind of stuff. Now, then from that point, we're going to move into Buildbox 3. And then we will do probably 2.31, probably 2.32, but there'll be bug fixes and, things that we realize that, this new way we did this doesn't quite work with that. great example, and this is fixed now, but when Advanced Move first came out, it was like, okay, this works in these 75 types of games, but oh God, we didn't think about these other 25 situations, so we'd have to tweak that. So with multiple select and stuff like that, you guys will find issues that we have not thought about, which happens every single time because we think about, 85 to 90%, but that 10% we're never going to probably get 100%. That's why we started doing open betas, which has been very beneficial to making the whole process streamlined. But yeah, so we'll probably go to 2.32, I would say. And then after that, we'll be on 3.0, boom, 100% the whole way. All right, so it will have a camera view like Unity. Yes, 3.0 will have a camera view. That will be instrumental. And we're going to make it so it's very easy to do games like first-person style games. So we've invented some stuff that I haven't seen in any other software to make that really easy. Because this is interesting. This is an interesting issue. And here, I'm going to actually pull up the desktop here. So if we go into, you know what, let's do this. Let's open up, actually, see if I can open recent. All right, let's cancel and open recent. We'll just open this platformer. All right, hold on one second. Yeah, let's do the platformer demo. There we go, and I'll make sure this is the right size for you guys. All right, so when we have a scene, and we're going to connect these two scenes, okay? It's really simple in Buildbox 2.0. All right, we're going to have the characters going to progress here. And then since we're on a flat 2D plane, as soon as we get to this point right here, then scene 3 can start, right? And it's going to start right here at the beginning. But when you move into a 3D space, then everything changes because you can't just have it flat. Okay, when this ends, this is going to begin because you have all this depth. You bring in something new. You have X and Y, but now you have Z. And so figuring out how to solve those types of problems has been really interesting and a lot of what Nick has been working on. So yeah, but to answer your question, definitely. So we'll have camera view and that will make it a lot easier. All right. So let's see here, guys. Let me find some more questions here. All right. Jason doesn't like Buildbox. Jason, probably wasting your time here talking about Buildbox. But let's see here. We have from Anar. Trey, for example, in the future, could there be like an online feature for the games that we create, for example, like a trading system? All right, so great question. One thing we definitely want to do is an inventory system. So when you say trading system, I'm not sure 100% what that means, but we do want to have an inventory system so you can actually, save things in your inventory and grow a character and build up and make RPG style elements into your game. And that's something that we're also actively working on. All right, Andy G's got a really good question. Are those KRK Rocket 5s? And they are. You know what's funny, Andy? A lot of people hate these for production. I bought the, I'm going to talk audio production nerd stuff for a second here, guys. I bought those, the JBLs or whatever with the white speaker that everyone has in the studios. I've had those. I've had the Mackies. And dude, these, I get cleaner mixes. Maybe it's the music I make, which is like house music, electronic, but I get cleaner mixes with those than anything. I love them, man. So, and they're not like super crazy expensive. So yeah, those are good ones. All right, so you could do a month to try out BB3 with payment refund after that, but you cannot publish the game. So, okay, so that's an interesting idea. And this is something we talked a lot about yesterday too. So the reason that we haven't come out with a different version or cheaper version of Buildbox 3, and the reason that we have contracts now is because we are slowly working on a plan to release a free version of Buildbox. And I know that's something that everyone has begged for. And it's going to be different, to be 100% clear. It's not going to be just like Buildbox 3 or just like Buildbox 2.29 or 2.3. But it's going to be close. You're going to be able to make games. We're really trying to work with a way to monetize that free version and then also not limit you guys so you just make crappy games. I mean, that's beneficial to no one. So I see a few different questions popping up about stuff like that, and that's that's one reason we changed everything and added the contracts in, because if you're going to have a free version, you have to have a contract. It's why other companies like us, other game development companies do that. If you do not, then you run into the issue of someone using the free version, then they buy the monthly version for 1 month, and then they go back to the free version. And whenever they want to export, they just buy it. And obviously, that's what a large percentage of people would do. So if you've ever been curious why companies do the contracts like that, that's why. But we do want to have a free version that is completely available for anyone to use. That's something we're working on. So we'll have more info on that after, maybe even before BB3. It's something we've been working on for a long time. All right, so let's see here, guys. All right, just a tiny little info on BB3, please. All right, so that's probably asked. You probably asked that before I actually started talking a little bit about that. But I'll tell you some stuff for sure. Node-based system for characters. Node-based system for objects, which are going to be very similar. They're kind of called actors now. We're playing around with some different terms, but there's really not as much difference in Buildbox 3 between a character and an object because anything can do anything in the game, okay? And then more components and systems for gameplay, the ability to do things with inventory for RPG elements, the ability to do things like make match 3 games, JavaScript, so you can do custom coding, and then 3D. That's the main feature set. There will be some more surprises. So one thing we're working on now, I'm really excited to share with you guys later, that is about the visual look. It's kind of what Effects did for Buildbox 2. We want to take that to the next level with Buildbox 3, where you can just click buttons and make games that look really, really unique, like a layer on top. So that once we start development and start prepping for the launch and release, then I'll definitely talk about that. All right, so let's see here, guys. I have a question. Is the learning curve going to be extreme with Buildbox 3? That is where my job comes in. That's a great question, man. Well, I'll tell you now that I see who this is, if this is Ryan asking the question, for you know Ryan, considering I think you know Buildbox 2 better than most of our development staff, I think you will be totally fine. But yeah, for everyone else, and if you guys don't know, Ryan's the one who made like half of our presets. If you've ever used a preset and you have no clue how that was created, then that was probably Ryan that did it. He does some really amazing stuff. So so that's where my job comes in, to make sure that we have a lot of features. Nick comes up with some really cool stuff, and then I have to figure out a way to make it so I can actually use it myself. And it's a difficult process, right? And so we figured out how we're going to do that. With this node stuff, it can get super complicated. If you have a complicated game, it's all about how difficult you want to make something. But if you want to do something with RPG elements that has real AI type stuff where you shoot a bullet and it's following around, you can do all this. And then it finds a character and hits it. If you want to do all that, then you're going to have a lot of different nodes, okay? You're going to have a lot of connectivity. The more complex your game is, the more connectivity you're going to have. Now, what we're going to do, though, is we're going to create groups of nodes and presets, okay? Now, when I say presets, I don't mean templates. It's not stuff you can't change, but we figure out like, okay, you want to do a guiding bullet? Well, if you want to, you can figure it out on your own, or you can just add this preset and we will already have the guiding bullet structure there for you. All right, so we're going to do a lot of those, and that's going to be the easiest way for people. Also, if you're new and the whole node stuff scares you completely, we're going to allow you to be able to create games without even touching it. So that's going to be pretty cool as well. You'll be able to actually build games without even going in and touching the node system at all, if that's what you want to do. All right, so let's see here, guys. We have Manuel. Let's see. Okay, you were talking to someone else. And how does the camera view look? White Dog, we will show that soon. I would say within 2 months, you will know how that looks. It looks cool, though. I can tell you that. All right, let's see, guys. Okay, so Imagine Innovations. I'm working with a friend who uses a Mac, and we always use the same machine, I think is what you're saying. And then you also have a PC. Honestly, I would talk to support about that. They can explain how many devices you can install to and all that stuff. They can even reset the MAC addresses and that if you need to as well. So I would talk to that. Mr. Red, we will not be increasing the price for Buildbox 3. So yeah, we talked about that and decided against it. Will there be object instancing in Buildbox 3? And that's a good time, I think, to bring in Nick. Nick, do you mind coming over for a sec? I've had some technical questions I think would be perfect for you. So first off, Nick, object instancing. Yeah, what's up? This is Nick, guys. So if you don't know, Nick is CTO at Buildbox. He created the first version of Buildbox by himself.
Yeah, that was my baby.
In a pool house with me in Encinitas, California. We worked out of a pool house, just me and him and Natalie. And Natalie worked remotely, and that was it in the company in the beginning.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was good. So, okay, guys. And Nick, instancing. What do you think about instancing?
It's we do have that in Buildbox 2.0.
Okay.
And you can
that's what
cloning.
What do we call that?
I think it's clone.
Let's see. Let me show you real quick. So this is when you go up here and you choose tools and remove. Okay, so
convert to clones.
That's it. Okay. Now, what's the difference between clones and global clones?
Clones is going to be within this current scene, and global clones is going to be like everywhere.
Oh, okay,
because
cool.
Right now in 2.0, it's a little bit tricky if you want to keep tracking your changes, and if you delete your source, it's going to delete all those clones. So we're trying to make it smarter in the future version, and but that's as I understand, is instancing is clones.
Okay, cool. So let's rename that in the next version to convert scene to clones.
I'm gonna fight with that.
All right, you guys want to see a fight live on camera? All right, how come?
Because I don't like, honestly, renaming too often, because people are used to it, and some people already know. And clones and instancing is pretty much the same, right? So.
All right, so I'm going to make sure you are not. Look at this. We're going to create a new scene here live. There we go. Look at that. Wow. All right, so guys, I want your opinion on this. This is great. We can actually, we can fight and then have actually have this going here live. All right, so let me see here, guys. Actually, I'm just going to shoot back to the desktop. All right, so right here we have convert to clones, and that converts this scene, and then we have convert to global clones. Is that something that you guys understood? And do you understand that now, or is it still confusing to you guys? Yeah, all right. They want to see some blood. I see that. I'm looking at the comments here. That is why we have Street Fighter. 100%, you're right, to settle these battles. All right, so let's see. All right, it looks like I don't think they're too upset about it either way.
I think they want to just see a fight.
Yeah, I think they just want to see some fights. Really,
which is totally.
All right, we got one confusing because we got a delay. So when we talk about something, it comes like 5-10 seconds later. All right, they still don't understand. So okay.
But is it renaming to instances gonna help them?
Hey, not a single person understands, right? Okay, all right, so. That's fine. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. So let me, so I win. But no, you're right. With the understand instancing. All right, so let's explain this to them, okay? Let's explain this to them. So, Nick, so we have.
This is a great example. Right?
Okay.
Like all those triangles.
All right, so just to be clear, everyone, I'm going to explain to you what Nick is going to explain to you is what instancing or clones. This is the same thing, okay? So, and this is the goal of using clones is to reduce the file size,
memory consumption, file size, and also if you want to change something, you can change original object, and all those clones gonna inherit changes from original.
Okay.
So that's the good way if you want to change the velocity or wake up distance. You change the original one, and then boom, all those are gonna be changed.
All right. So to clear that, all right. So we have right here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 triangles. Now what we could do is we could make all 15 of these triangles be clones. And if we change the wake up, if we change any of these elements, it will change the rest of them as well, except for scale, position, opacity, and rotation.
Yeah, all those transformation is going to be unique per clone.
Okay, gotcha. So the reason you would want to do that is inside of your BB doc file, instead of it having to have all of these different things loaded into memory, all right, when someone's playing your game and listed inside of your BB doc file, it'll say, look, all of these are the exact same thing. All right, but again, if you change something like the wake up distance on the core one, correct?
Yeah, original.
Yeah, then it's going to change on the other ones as well. And this is a more, I mean, this is why I had to bring Nick in here. This is definitely something that's more on the advanced level of Buildbox.
Yes.
So then if you wanted to change this to clones, but you can't choose one object, you have to change the whole entire scene to clones, correct?
So this tool, convert to clones, he's going to scan the current scene and see if there's any the same object. Like he's going to compare linear velocity, angular velocity, all those collision types, except position, rotation, scale, and opacity.
Okay.
So, and if they are the same, he's going to convert to clones. So we're going to have...
Okay.
So we need to choose the source one, and then it will process and convert the rest of these objects into clones.
All right, now if I go into debug mode here, I can see that all these are individual, right?
Yeah.
Because red means they're individuals.
Yeah, the green ones means clones.
All right, so watch this, guys. So I'm going to go to convert to clones. Now, as soon as I do this, it scans this whole scene, all right, because it's just convert to clones on this scene. This one will be scanning the whole entire Buildbox file. But this is just on this one scene. It's scanning, and it's looking for objects that are very similar and have the exact same linear velocity and things like that in the same image being used. Now, when I click on debug mode, you can see something. See these green ones? Those are not individual files anymore. So if I change the linear velocity on this red one, which is red because it is individual,
yes,
then it's going to change that linear velocity on all of these.
Yes.
Is that correct? So if I change this to 5, then you'll see when I click on here, you don't even see linear velocity.
Yeah, that's
because it's a clone.
Yes. So that's just the obvious confusion right now. So you cannot track back to your roots.
Yeah.
So you have to memorize, okay, there looks the same.
That's why this is advanced.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to solve. Like, so you can pinpoint which one is your source, so you're not going to delete, or if you delete, to smartly convert
the reason
back.
When you click on these guys that you don't have anything listed here is because they're clones of this one. And also, anytime you see a bunch of stuff written over here, that has to be written in the BB doc file, correct?
Exactly.
So when we do these clones, you see nothing's written there. That means it's also deleted from the BB doc, which makes your file size a lot smaller, which makes the memory print not as much, and everything load faster. So that is instancing. Pretty confusing. Pretty confusing for me. And Nick's like, man, this is not very confusing.
I mean, definitely there is a huge room for improvements, but that's, I mean, how I've usually used this feature is when my level is pretty much done, like my game is done, and okay, this is good time for optimization.
Yeah.
So I'm going through my start scene and just convert to global clones, boom, 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 and that's done. The start scene is actually my place for original objects, and everything else just full of clones.
Gotcha.
And then my BB-Doc file shrunk,
Boom.
and it's small, it's faster. All my
But we got to give them a huge warning, because it absolutely sucks when you need to go back and start changing stuff and you've done it. Is there even undo on this?
Yeah, but we are trying, in 3.0, we're trying to be smart.
Yeah.
So right now there's only one way to convert, but how about backwards?
Yeah.
And how about more smarter under the hood management? So this is going to be invisible. I mean, the whole...
Oh, wait. Someone said they can't hear you well.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Let's see. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Maybe this will help a little bit. I'll put this in the middle of us.
So the target is to make this process invisible for our customers, right? So they haven't... Not even using...
Oh, so you want...
thinking about...
With 3.0, no one even thinks about this. Exactly. It just... okay, so here's what we had talked about. On export, automatically doing all of this
Yes.
and not telling anyone.
Just
Not because we don't want to tell you, because we want it to be simple.
I mean, this should be solved on the engine level and not put on you guys. But
Okay.
right now, it's this like a tricks that you can use to make your file faster.
Gotcha. All right. So, Mr. Zombie is a bot. Mr. Zombie is definitely not a bot. He is on every single live stream, and he's super awesome. He's definitely, I can guarantee you, he's not a bot. Saeed, Nick, what do you think about Game Maker? Will BB be advanced? Will Buildbox be as advanced as Game Maker?
Oh, the Game Maker Studio. Yeah, that's a good guy. I keep watching those guys. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, I like those guys
and
too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Buildbox is going to be way better than Game Maker. That's the point. And I'm really excited about JavaScript API. And in fact, it's really. I just played with JavaScript right now while Trey doing all this streaming.
Cool.
And making a little strategy game. Just simple one, and
we'll show that on an event one day, right?
Of course, that's what we do. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but the short answer, yes, it's gonna be way better.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit about JavaScript? Some people were asking questions about that. All right, so here is the word that I was embarrassed to use incorrectly. API, is that?
Yeah.
So Buildbox. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to make sure we set this up right. Buildbox is written in C++. And JavaScript is an API you've built where in JavaScript you can connect and talk to the C++ code.
Yeah, you're pretty much accurate.
Boom!
Yeah,
How about that? Have a little faith,
I'm
right?
shocked, to be honest. Yeah, so right now under the hood we have a lot of C++ API that you guys cannot see and cannot use, right?
Yeah.
Like you're operating this API through those buttons, variables, components, and stuff. So we're trying to make it as flexible as possible, and the JavaScript is just that glue that allows you to actually run the C++ code that we wrote for you and like those API calls that we prepared for you. So the thing is, why is JavaScript? Because Apple is a little bit tricky with those scripted engines, and JavaScript is one of those already established and proof of concept thing that's already some engines using.
Okay.
And in fact, that all our APIs is C++, and JavaScript is just calling those APIs. The speed is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So it's not like the old browser games that's starts.
Oh, I got you. If everything was written if Buildbox was written in JavaScript, it would be slow, bloated, and terrible.
Yeah, it's like when you're playing those browser games and your fans spinning on your laptop and they start getting hot and you're wondering what's going on. That's not the case here.
But since we are using JavaScript to control C++, it's like an easier way of editing this C++ code.
Yeah, and it's safe for Apple, so you cannot run some malicious code like some junk stuff. And it's safe, so there's no crashes. The JavaScript handle those things pretty well.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's see here, guys. Let me check out a couple. Did you see a question, Nick?
Yes, you're scrolling so fast. I mean.
Yeah. You know, I can't do like this kind of scroll, so I have to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how they get you. That is how they get you, buddy. What mic is that? It's a good question. That's correct, Danny. It is a Yeti Blue. No, this is not. Is this the blue? No, this is the Blue Yeti. Got it backwards. All right. So, what about 3D UI?
Like your buttons in 3D space.
Mm-hmm.
Not gonna focus on that yet.
Okay.
Technically, you can use in JavaScript again. You can use your boxes and your game elements act as the buttons.
Yeah.
But
are we gonna? Okay, yeah, because
like
that's the great thing about.
Yeah, you can like imagine you have a component, right, and then you can rewire that component to as soon as someone click on that to do something.
Yeah.
And that's actually what buttons do, and your enemy on your 3D object can do the same.
Yeah.
But working with UI in 3D space is kind of, I mean, it's pretty rare.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot. Even in 3D games, you don't see.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of benefit.
The only example is going to be the third-person shooter, like a Doom. like when you have like a head-ups displays in kind of 3D space, or
But they're really
when
just
you're
layered
walking
on
around,
top, and we'll still have that.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, so you can have the, just like now, how you have it layered on top of a game field, you can do that. But I'm trying to think, like I play Overwatch. Someone asked if I like games. Me and my wife, I'm gonna I'll put a picture of this tonight if I remember on Facebook stories or something. But we have in our living room we have two 62-inch TVs. And we play Overwatch and Call of Duty. Right now, it's all about Overwatch. So yeah, we're huge gamers, and Nick is too. That's the only reason we're into this. Like,
yeah, I have like a 5 console, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing about at America, I don't have any consoles, right? So I'm trying.
In Ukraine, you didn't.
Yeah. Ukraine didn't have any consoles.
Yeah, because they didn't really have. That wasn't a big thing there, right?
Yeah, it was pretty much expensive, and there's not much good game selection there that you can buy, like
licensing nightmare.
Just localization mainly. No one care about English games where no one can speak English.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
So me and Nick fight about everything. All right, so, and that's why Buildbox is what it is because of these fights, and including consoles. I'm an Xbox guy, and Nick's a PlayStation guy.
Yes, I'm PS guy. And actually, I like my Nintendo Switch. I mean,
actually, that we're both big on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I originally I hate Wii U.
Yeah.
But then I started playing their games, and I started loving Wii U, like all those Nintendo games.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of sad that's Wii U, but I kind of love that Nintendo Switch is taken off and everyone love it, and I can play it.
Yeah, I play that more than anything. Well, I play it like traveling a lot.
Yeah,
but Overwatch, I'm a big Overwatch fan now.
Yeah, imagine Overwatch on Nintendo Switch.
Oh, that would be great. They said that it was going to be kind of tough though because of the power. One of the Overwatch devs said that, which I was surprised.
I mean, it's not that.
Yeah, I was surprised on that. All right, let's see. All right, will the new version have the ability to directly interact? All right, this one, man, I get asked this so much. Will the new version have the ability to directly interact finger touch with multiple items on screen versus just a single character? In other words, drag and drop type behavior.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and let me tell you, my daughter, I have a 10-year-old. She loves the Tokaboka games. And I showed you these, right?
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, and they're so simple. It's just like art, and then you have like multiple hats you can put on top of the characters. Or this would open up so much, man. The where you cut their hair and stuff like that. Like all those types of games. The building cupcakes and all the pretty much the whole entire kids genre would open up.
Can we
do it without JavaScript? Because here's the thing. Now we can finally say after 3 or 4 years, whatever it's been, that you can really make, relatively anything.
Yes.
Could you even do multiplayer with JavaScript?
Not right now.
Yeah,
no.
that would be tough.
We're not gonna expose any multiplayer API right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot.
Yeah.
Like a JavaScript and 3D and multiplayer is like, it's another whole world.
Yeah. Well, I already told them we're doing it. It's just like 3.05.
But, let's finish this one, please.
But okay.
Yes. So this thing is, I'm working on strategy, little tiny strategy game concept.
Yeah.
And where I'm gonna click on items and do something with them.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna explain in deeper because that's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing right now, I'm doing with JavaScript, right? But then when I'm gonna see that this stuff actually works, I'm gonna wrap it up, split into the components, and give to you guys.
Okay.
So I have to make those components flexible yet easy to understand, and to make sure they're actually useful.
So let me ask you this. So we develop a lot of games. You guys know that. That's why all this started. It wasn't that we wanted to get into game dev first. We got into game creation. I wanted to start building games and couldn't. And that's how this whole thing kind of kicked off. So we're making games. You make a strategy game. And Buildbox 3 has been out for 6 months. When you make new nodes, when you're making a game, is it going to be pretty easy to build that into a new node that we can put in an update and expand?
Yes.
So you see, like, let's say we launch with 15, 20 nodes. You see that expanding to 100 one day? I mean, would it be that many?
Yes, that is the beauty. Imagine you have these templates, right? Those like a complex game that you can modify and they're ready to go. But imagine you have smaller pieces, smaller bricks that you can build your game with.
Yeah.
And those are components, those nodes.
Yeah.
I'd rather actually call them components, but there's still the same component that we have in 2.0,
Yeah.
but they're actually...
Yeah, that's a big thing too, guys, in case you don't know that. When we're talking about nodes, all we're talking about, let me get this off. All right, so let's say we wanted to add wake up to this. We click on add component and choose wake up, right? All we're saying is that, right? We will have a node. It'll look like this instead. You'll go add wake up.
And there's a wake up.
And then this will be literally called wake up. And then over here, you'll have your options. We'll show you guys soon. I know we're talking, the truth is...
It's going to be amazing.
I probably shouldn't even be talking about this stuff this early. I just get too excited on these streams and start doing that.
Some people knew, like we released some videos.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so it's
some people
not a secret anymore.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's totally fine.
I always want to do this component, like a node component stuff, because my background 3D. I used to work with Maya 3D Studio Mix.
Yeah,
and they are using components and like a node based for shading, like of signs. Like a 10.
Yeah, you've been talking about node. Hey, you were doing nodes with the Potion, right?
Oh yeah, a whole my life, like, hey, let's do something.
So Buildbox, before Buildbox, the first version was called Potion, and it was a web app, correct?
Yeah.
Or was the very first one?
That was the web app.
Yeah.
But we
were going to do it all on web, kind of like Construct does, and then it was just too many limitations. It wasn't working out.
Yeah, performance and web wasn't that mature back then. It's still kind of, it's files input out is kind of like yeah, it's like not good.
Yeah, the name Buildbox happened like 2 weeks before launch, so that was a close one. Sprite editor, guys. Nick, what do you think about sprite editors?
Let's take a form OBJ or FBX. This is what a 3D file to import.
Oh wow! Look at, where did you see that?
Oh,
look at that! All right, so this is from Astro. What will be the 3D file to import 3D models, OBJ or FBX? Is it going to import more into like keyframes, animations, rigs, etc.? All right. If you guys don't know what that stuff means, it's okay. I do understand a little bit of that, and I'm curious. I don't know the answer, though.
The short answer is both.
Oh, nice. I didn't know. I thought we were just doing OBJ.
No. We cannot do OBJ because OBJ is
Who would do OBJ?
Really simple format.
Only a total,
just for geometry.
Only a total asshole would do OBJ.
Come on.
All right. So OBJ, is that a format that's like owned by a company, or is that just, are they both pretty open?
It's really old format.
Okay.
It's wavefront, and it's just to store information about vertices, polygons, like triangles, UVs, and normals.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. So you cannot store vertex color in the OBJ.
Okay.
So, and that's probably it. The FBX in Autodesk is kind of owned by Autodesk.
Okay.
And they
created this.
They have SDK.
Yeah.
And this is kind of standard de facto right now in the industry.
Don't have to license it that you know of?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
To be honest, I'm not totally sure, but my guts tell you
we got a good guy for that. So so assuming that there's not a licensing issue, then OBJ and FBX will be in any other formats?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, those are the two most popular.
There's Collada.
Okay.
That's like an open source.
Okay.
But there's not much support for content
creators. If you went to Graphic River or one of these sites, it would be in one of those formats.
Absolutely.
Okay. Perfect. Now, is it going to import more into keyframes, animations, or rigs, or?
We're not going to support skeleton animation like a rigs at this moment.
Okay.
Keyframes, right? All those transformation, rotation, scale, and transformation is going to be supported.
Okay.
And not sure about if we can definitely keyframes, but
we're doing animation already.
Yeah, that's what I'm playing right now.
We're gonna have a full animation editor in the actual scene. So, kind of talk about that. You think? Yeah, why not?
You guys like it today.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? All right, so you guys know. Let me shoot over here to the desktop. All right, so you guys know we have this down here. All right, something that has bugged me to death is I wanted this animation thing on your scene. So you start a scene up, and then right when your character, he goes, doopy doopy doo, hey everybody, he gets here, and then we have those same kind of animations. You know, you can make this go up and down and come around and then shoot down. You can have a rocket take off over here, woo, and all this stuff happen, right? Every single time he comes into the scene. Because when I played games back in the day, Crash Bandicoot, or even now playing like Crash Bandicoot, did you ever play that one?
No, I kind of hate that game, to be honest. Yes.
Really?
I'm sorry, but yes.
I played. That was like my college, man. That was a good one.
I sorry to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, so, or even Mario games, you know, you have scripted scenes and all this cool stuff going on. So we will have that in 3.0 finally, which I think is going to add a professional touch there. All right. The price to update BB2 full license to BB3, honestly, I do not know yet, but I will definitely make that affordable. I do not know yet, though. We have not even talked about it. Since we moved to subscriptions, we haven't looked at that yet, but we will. We shall. Vectology, Buildbox 3 will be great. Yes, I really think it will. I think it's going to be...
It's already great, but you just guys can see it.
Yeah, it really is. It's we're stoked about that.
Oh, someone writing Russian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah, they're saying hello.
Oh, all right. What's up, Gadziano? All right, so will be more levels than 8.
That's an interesting question.
That is. I'm not sure, Saeed, if I understand.
Yeah.
News for a new Master Collection.
Oh, God. I mean, they probably start filling something, or like there's some vibes going on.
I will say this. We've been working on a new Master Collection since the end of the last Master Collection. So there is something coming, but dates... Honestly, yeah, it's going to be really, really big.
Huge.
But I thought it would be out by now. If you would have asked me 6 months ago, I would say definitely it's going to be released. But it's being delayed because it's really, really, it's going to be great. And it has to be perfect. So, yes, we are working on something. All right, can I have more than one user on a Buildbox account? All right, so let me answer this. A lot of people ask this. All right, so here's how the licensing works, okay? When you get a Buildbox license, it is for one user to use on 2 computers, okay? Now, eventually, we are going to set up concurrent. It's right now, the license states it's concurrent. We don't have it detect if 2 copies are running at once, but eventually we will, because it's meant to be on your desktop and then on your laptop. It's not meant to be that you get it and share it with a friend, okay? So that's the official answer on that. Good question. We get it a lot, so... Mr. Zombie, yeah, you know what? There's a lot of questions coming through. So if I don't answer yours specifically, it's because this scroll is super fast that I'm dealing with. So I kind of like fly by a lot by accident. So I promise you it's not intentional.
Can we make it like a taller, this window?
You know, no, because I hosted this on.
I see. It's like a
the actual one's even worse. It's right here. See?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's
on
terrible.
YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Guys, it's really hard. I mean, you guys writing a lot. It's really hard to see.
Yeah.
But we're trying all our
But
best.
hey, what are you going to do, you know? What are you going to do? All right, so this is from Edson. In Buildbox 3.0, will it be possible to code or something like that? Yeah, so you might have came a little late. We are having JavaScript API that will, so you can totally code.
Yeah.
Yeah. And will it support native push notifications? And probably not.
I still can understand why people still like this push notification.
I mean, they're super annoying, and I don't really see, like, Apple hates it.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you're using this for a game, for your marketing purpose, this is going to annoy customers.
Yeah.
And they're going to delete your app immediately.
Here's the thing, all right? We probably do need to do this as we move eventually into where more social games can be made.
Yeah.
So-and-so is unlocked now, timing-based, that type of thing.
Only if it's useful for a player.
Yeah.
Like your egg is just hatched, or you got free coins, or your waiting time.
But we can't really monitor, because people are going to abuse it like crazy.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful with that.
It used to be cool like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Everyone was really excited about that. We tried a lot, remember?
Yeah.
And it's not working that well, and it just drops your retention really significantly because people hate that.
Yeah, that's why you notice most of the big publishers do not use that.
Yeah,
a lot.
Ketchup used to do that. Yeah. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And now
Yeah.
There are games not asking permission for push notification anymore.
Yeah. All right, guys. Oh, please, a Clash of Clans type of templates. So I will explain the full game plan of Buildbox soon. I'm writing a big article called The Future of Buildbox. It's going to talk about our game plan with Buildbox 1, how we accomplish those goals, the game plan with Buildbox 2, how we accomplish those goals, and then the game plan for Buildbox 3, and how we plan on accomplishing those goals. Like just the layout to bring the community together, show you guys exactly what's going on over here and what our plan is. It was a little bit risky, I think, to share that early on, but now I think we're established enough on this plan to be able to do it. Social games are not the primary goal of Buildbox 3, but it is something that is in the future goal, things that we want to be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, the level of flexibility can allow you to do those social games, but we don't have particularly in mind those social games.
Yeah.
But we are trying to give you tools, so if you're interested in that way, you can.
But without multiplayer, you really, I guess you could.
I mean, social games like a Facebook, like all those.
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true. As long as you have FB Connect. Okay.
You're talking
Maybe you can then. Yeah, we that hasn't been our primary focus yet. But the truth is, if we had FB Connect, then you probably.
Which is pretty interesting.
Is it easy?
Well, I've just not figured out the vision for that.
Yeah.
The flow. The one question I saw was pretty much interesting is specs for 3D, baby 3D. Like I think he was talking about specification for PC or Mac, like what kind of hardware to run. We trying to keep the same specs that are for 2.0. So as you can, guys, like 3D might be expensive and heavy, but it's not. Like all those minimal games that is popular is just cubes and pretty much integrated video card that you have on your laptop, or it can handle that. I mean, the PCs is getting powerful, even the cheapest ones.
This really surprised me. But Buildbox 3D can handle more on-screen objects than Buildbox 2D, correct?
Actually, yes.
Which is nuts. I would not think that. So he did a stress test on an iPhone 5.
Yes.
And it was more objects than the 2D version, which is pretty cool. Hey, what about this one? This is a great one. What about making Buildbox offline?
Guys, yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, what about because we've talked about this a lot. What about, you know what we need? We need to find some examples of that done well, of that really done right. To be like just for, a 8-hour period or something like that. But we'll think about it. It's something we've talked about a lot. It's something we want to do, but it's just a difficult way to figure out how to do it right.
Yeah, I mean, with 3.0, we have in pipeline reworking all of these slides and stuff.
Yeah.
And we do have easier way of kind of offline, but still, you definitely need to connect to our server to download things like modules and to look for updates. And eventually, hopefully, templates as well. Yeah,
we get it. You guys want, to be on an airplane and be able to do it. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. That's what you said, on a flight. Hey, I've had it happen too. I was working on Lions Inn or something. I had a flight, and and it's frustrating. I totally get that.
Guys, working on that.
We hear you. Do you think we can make Crossy Roads in Buildbox 3? Absolutely, without question. Super easy to do something like that. So yeah, definitely. All right, so let's see here, guys. Required spec for 3D Buildbox.
That's what we just explained.
What kind of computer?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you just.
So the same that you could use for Buildbox 2.
Anyone that support 3D graphics.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, the thing is, if you're gonna do simple stuff, then you can go with simple hardware. As more complex and more advanced stuff, like then you have to do the more powerful computer.
Gotcha. Okay. What about this one from Kevin, Rising High? What's up, Kevin?
Oh.
While you're both here, fight. See, they just want blood. This is a blood sport for these people. Fight about, hands down, the coolest thing about Buildbox 3.
The coolest thing about Buildbox, I mean,
your JavaScript.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
We definitely will not agree on that.
You know what's cool about JavaScript? Like, I mean, when you do C++ code, like you write a code, then you hit a button, then compiler compile, then it's link all those libraries, and then you run the application, and then you click to the place where you're gonna see your result, and then you see the result, and damn it, it's not a good one. It's 1 pixel left. Then you make changes, and then again you're waiting. But with JavaScript, I always want to do just live. You know, you change and you immediately see result.
Oh, did you get that to work?
But I mean, you have to just click the button, reload, and immediately see a result.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, you don't need to compile. You need to wait. I mean, that's
great.
I mean,
just like how we had live preview. Hey, now in Buildbox 1, we had live preview for every option, like almost, right? Mm-hmm. And Buildbox 2 is about half. We should bring back.
There's some complexity behind that. Yeah. I mean, if it goes for free, then definitely we
more options and the more complexity for that.
I mean, this is the whole, like, when you do 3D graphics, the faster you render, the better your result. This latency between your input and seeing result gives you an opportunity to make more iteration, and the more iteration you do, the better final result will be.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, so let's see here, guys. Yeah, Crossy Roads, Shooty Skies, definitely can do that. 3.0, no problem. Let's see, guys. What about analytics? We've had a lot of people ask that. I tell you what, we've had a couple of solutions in the works and stuff I still would like to do with partner with some companies on that. But you know what I think the easiest and fastest thing, which even if we did partner with a company and have it automated in there, would be Google Analytics. They just put in their Google Analytics code and then it just shows up. That's possible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So we will work on that because that's a no-brainer and it's a pretty easy one.
I mean, right now you can. I mean, it's a little bit hard for developers to inject analytics inside Xcode project or Android project, but yeah, that's not the best solution right now. So we have to do better with that.
Will Buildbox 3 have a perspective view? Is that when we click it and go?
Perspective view, like a 3D?
Yeah.
Like
I think that's like, you know, when we were playing around the other day and it would, you know, we would be like looking over here and then it would just go boom right behind the character.
Third person shooter.
I think that's what they're saying. Yes, it will.
I mean, yeah, like remember when I showed you a prototype and I start moving this camera and there's was third person, first person.
Yeah, it was cool. So we're working on a new game and it looks like 2D flat, you know, and then we were trying to figure out the best camera angle for it and just watching it live, moving it while the game's, you know, moving through. It's really cool.
It would be nice when you're playing on device, you game, and I'll modify and be on the fly, and you can, while you're playing, we can find the perfect camera angle.
Last night we were on the phone at what time? 9:30 something.
Kind of 11ish.
Yeah, till 10 or so. Yeah, it's all kind of blending in at this point. We were on the phone really late figuring out how to make an app where you can just like click a button and then play the game on your phone and then share that with a friend if they have the app too, without having to upload to the App Store.
Yeah.
That's a big one. I think that's going to be something a lot of people want to be able to do just to test their game for fun.
We're telling so many secrets today.
Well, that's kind of what it's all about, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We can if we do too many, we can just delete the video.
No, now we have to do this.
So there's only like 100. So yeah, 100 people will know. We can delete it.
Just 100.
Okay, cool. So let's see what else, guys. OpenGL or DirectX?
OpenGL.
Of course.
On Windows, it might be a little bit complicated. What?
Oh no, it's because you said it's complicated.
Oh yeah, but like all our shaders is OpenGL, but
And Buildbox too, right?
Buildbox.
It's all OpenGL, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But on Windows, it might go through some special layer that Google developed to run OpenGL through DirectX, but that's some nerdy stuff.
Gotcha. Subway Surfers would be definitely doable.
Yes.
Now, what about this? So, rigging is when the character's like animated and moving, right?
Yeah.
And you can't import rigging, correct? We might have to.
Yeah.
Because how are you going to do Subway Surfers where the character runs if we don't have rigging?
There's 2 ways of doing that. First, to bring the real skeleton animation and do all those fancy transition like a parts of skeleton blending animations, or we can bring baked versuses, like you can bake animation.
I mean, can we do it like here and then, or oops, where's the animation editor? So we could do it like right here and have, I mean, this doesn't have animation, but you know, if it did.
Oh, like a preview, like a skeleton?
Yeah, can we do that?
Yeah. Let me think on that.
All right.
We're definitely going to bring something that's...
Yeah, got to be able to do animation.
Yeah, but the problem is resources, right?
Yeah.
And there's that many stuff that we need to make, and just priorities.
Yeah. That's a good view. That's perfect.
So that's way.
Oh, there we go. That's better.
You know, like this Monster Incorporated, the mic always have this.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm the mic. You're the Sally.
That's great. Mario Run. Yeah, you know what? We talked about this. You could do a large portion of Mario Run in Buildbox too. Not wall jump. Actually, I think Ryan figured out how to do wall jump.
Yeah, this kid is amazing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I think, but definitely 3.0 you could. That would be easy. Really, you can pretty much do, I think, 90% of what you guys would want to do in 3.0 with nodes, and then with JavaScript 100%. So,
Yeah, right.
except maybe some really advanced multiplayer, mass
multiplayer.
like
Everything beyond like downloading image from web or doing some other SDKs integration.
Yeah.
That like within this sandbox, you can do anything.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we are at 11:30, just hit an hour, and we have to actually go and work on this Buildbox 3 thing, so we can have it ready. But that was super fun. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. And if you didn't get your question answered, then we'll definitely be doing this stuff again. We're going to be doing it a lot. So thanks so much, guys. I appreciate everyone being here. Nick, thank you. That was fun.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we'll do it again soon.
See you later.